So I've always been very passionate about the environment, and for a long time I believed that the best thing we can do to counteract climate change is to plant plants everywhere. And earlier this year I was inspired by my wife's work around our neighbourhood doing guerrilla gardens, and I thought that I could do something to promote that further. So I created the Green World Revolution Guerrilla Gardening Show Bag, which has everything in it that you need to go out and illicitly cultivate 1 square metre of someone else's land with native wildflowers. And I sold these at the Fringe Festival earlier this year, and I wanted to take it further. And my mother came to me with the idea of setting up a not-for-profit and applying for the Western Australian Social Enterprise Fund. So we looked at what the essence of the show bag is for me, and really it's this idea of having plants everywhere in all the vacant spaces that we find around the city. And so we decided to set up Green World Revolution as a not-for-profit that would promote that. Here next to one of the biggest buildings in Perth, we're going to be establishing EcoBank as our first initiative. EcoBank is a self-contained, containerised urban agriculture facility that will be able to supply fresh organic food to local cafes and residents. By creating a network of EcoBank social franchises, we'll be able to seriously reduce CO2 emissions in the city by providing local food for local people with 0 food miles. And also, by growing on rooftops and abandoned spaces in the city, we'll be able to seriously reduce the urban heat island effect, which is responsible for 4 degrees temperature difference in Perth in summer between the leafy suburbs and the Perth CBD. This will drastically reduce our reliance on air conditioning and other energy-heavy resources, and therefore reduce our CO2 emissions as well. With the EcoBanks contributing to CO2 reduction, we also have a social angle for this, where we want to work with mature age unemployed people and give them the opportunity to gain valuable work experience at the EcoBanks, and then down the track as the business grows we'll be able to employ them and give them the opportunity to own and run the EcoBank as their own franchise. We see that the urban agricultural industry is growing around the world, and there's many opportunities for people to work in this area. The growing urban agricultural industry is adopting different planting approaches so that it can produce enough food in a relatively small location. For the EcoBank, we'll be adopting a staggered approach that starts with microgreens that are small plants between a seedling and a sprout. And after about 3 or 4 weeks, when they're ready, we'll cut them off and sell most of them. Others we'll keep back a percentage which can go out into our barrel planters on a weekly basis. After the growing period of about 6 to 8 weeks, we'll be able to then harvest those planters on a weekly basis and provide enough food to our customers.